Okay, video on leashes. Number one piece of advice, only buy authentic, genuine leashy product. There's a whole bunch of knockoffs on the market that are just really crappy, so make sure you're going to have that logo on your leashy of Mr. Leashy himself. And they'll usually come with these stickers on them as well. This is how you know they're authentic. Next thing to mention is the leashy type is going to be right here. So this is the blade type of the key. SIP22 is on lots of like Fiats, Jeeps, Ram ProMasters, things like that. Right beside the blade type you'll see DR/BT. That stands for door and boot, and in Asia and Europe the boot is the trunk. So that means that this leashy will work in the doors and the trunks of these cars. It won't work in the ignition. Underneath here you'll see 2-in-1 pick. That means it can pick a lock and it can read a lock. So you're always going to want to buy the 2-in-1s so you can break into vehicles if you need to get customers' keys retrieved, or you can read the lock to do all keys lost scenarios. This right here is your tension bar. So this is what, when we put it in the lock, this is what we put pressure on to start turning it. It's not going to turn, the lock's not going to turn without the right key in it. So we just want to put a little bit of pressure on it. So once we pick the lock, it will snap down and then we can read it at that point. So this is something you got to kind of get used to. It's a little bit of an art. If you're having a hard time picking, try a little bit less tension or a little bit more tension. It's very subtle, like it should be 1 pound of pressure or less. You're never going to have to reef on these things. Don't damage them. It's just very, very light pressure. These things are our picking bars. So sometimes they move up, sometimes they move down, sometimes they move two ways. Sometimes you'll have one of these, sometimes you'll have two of them. So in this case we got two and they only move one direction. These arms are going to be moving the wafers with these things right here. I don't know if you can see those tiny little tabs, but that's what's actually moving the wafers inside the lock cylinder. Let's give this a shot. Number one rule, make sure your leashy is all the way in. Sometimes people put it almost all the way in and it's like got a little bit more to go. That's really going to throw off your reading. So make sure that the leashy is all the way in and you can feel it bottoming out. The first step is going to be picking it. So you don't have to worry about these numbers, these letters on the right side. That's showing us our depths of our cuts. These numbers on the top and the bottom are showing us the position of the cuts. So one wafer is right there, one wafer is right there, one wafer is right there, and you can kind of feel them because they're springy. If there's nothing on it and it's empty and it doesn't bounce this arm back, that means you're picking the wrong way. So for example, on cut position number 1, I can move both of these arms up and down and they don't spring back. There's no wafer in that position on this lock cylinder. So we're going to skip number 1, we're going to go to number 2, and if we use this arm to pick up on number 2, it's dead, there's nothing on there. But going down with this arm, there is. So now we're going to apply tension. And what you're looking for is seeing if the wafers are bouncy like that. So if I pull this down and let go, it snaps back up. That's what we're looking for. If it doesn't do that and it's just sort of solid, that means you have to pick it. And that just means put more pressure on it until it gets bouncy again. So we'll put some pressure on it and we'll start our picking process. Right now our first one is stuck. It's not bouncy, it's just stuck. So I have light pressure on here and I'm just going to slowly pull down on here until it picks. That click is what you're looking for. So to check it after, you just check to see if it's bouncy. So that means we don't have to pick that one anymore. If we take this arm and go to number 3, it's dead. And we use this arm and go to number 3 upwards instead, it's already bouncy. That means we don't have to pick it. So something that we've noticed is this front arm is going to be on positions 2, 4, 6, and 8, so all our even positions. And this back arm is going to be positions 3, 5, and 7, going the other direction. So 2 position is bouncy, 3 position is bouncy, moving to the 4 position, it's stuck. So we're going to put that pressure on it, keep putting it, keep putting it. You can let off a little bit of pressure on here if it's not clicking. And click, there we go. Check to make sure it's bouncy after. Move to position number 5, already bouncy. 6 is stuck. We got our click, it's bouncy now. 7 is stuck. Pick it upwards. Now it's bouncy. And 8 is bouncy. So we've gone through the whole lineup. Now we just start at the end and do it all over again. And sometimes when you're picking these, you'll feel the tension bar kind of skip up a little bit, like you're getting a little bit of rotation out of the lock. And that's totally fine. So now we're just going to start the process over and over again. And it doesn't matter what order you do these in. I can jump right to 8 right now. I can come back to here. It doesn't matter. We're just looking for the lock wafers that are binding. So this one's binding. Now it's jumping. 2's binding again. There we go. We'll go on the top row now. Sometimes they only have a tiny little bit of spring, so you can see that it's still springing, but it's very, very slight. That means it's already picked, so leave it. This one's straight dead, it's not bouncing back. There we go, just a very easy one. And we'll just keep ripping through these until the lock turns. And I think we're getting kind of close. There we go. Okay, so it's picked all the way. Now our next step, on most locks you want to hold tension on here because this lock isn't the case, but most locks when you let go of this, it'll snap back and then you got to start the process all over again. So make sure you're not letting go of that or making sure that the lock's not going to snap back on you. So now that we've picked it, now we got to read it. So we're still holding tension on that to make sure it doesn't snap back. In this case I can let go because this lock is a little bit different. And now we start the reading process. So now that the lock is picked, we're going to read it. So again, like at the beginning, there's nothing in position 1. So position 1, the cut depths don't matter because there's no wafer in there. So what we do is we write an X. Now what we're going to pay attention to this time is the top and bottom numbers, and at the same time paying attention to these side letters. So because we picked this direction with this one, we're going to move this down, and if you give it a little bit more tension you'll feel that spring sort of collapse, and you can see how minor that movement is. But we want the bottom of it, so we want that position, not this position. So our cut number 2 lines up with this line, which is a B. So cut number 2 is a Bravo. Then we go to cut number 3, which is picking upwards, and we put that little bit of tension on it, very, very light, and it lines up with the delta D. Then we go to our next position, number 4, and then position number 4 it says at the top here, but we're picking downwards. If we use this one to pick up towards that number 4, it's just dead, so that's why we're using the one that's not labeled down here. Hopefully that makes sense. So light pressure, and that falls on a B. Now we go to number 5. Light pressure, that falls on a C. Number 6 is a B. Number 7 is also a B, second one from the top. And number 8, the last one, is a C. So our cutting pattern, we don't know the first one, is Bravo Delta, Bravo Charlie, Bravo Bravo Charlie. And I always check my work twice, so I'll always rip through it a second time. B, D, B, C, B, B, C. And that checks out. So now we can turn our lock back to the neutral position. You'll hear all those wafers click, so we're stuck again. And we're going to go to our key machine. Remember how we had that one cut that we didn't know what it is? There's a really cool feature on key machines and other key software that can help us find those numbers that we don't know what they are. On this vehicle, it's push to start, so there's no key for the ignition. There's literally only a key for the door. So if this is the only key in the vehicle right here, or the only lock cylinder, we can cut this and it doesn't matter what that cut is, this will still turn. In some cases, the first cut is going to matter for like a glove box lock or a gas cap lock or things like that. So we always want to try and figure out what that is anyway. So on the Dolphin, you can click on Find Bitting. We're going to search for a compass. And these are all the different blades that could be on a compass. There's our SIP22. Tells us how to hook up or line up the key in the jaw if we need it. Okay, so first cut, we didn't know, that was a question mark. So we click on question mark. Then we got Bravo, Delta, Bravo, Charlie, Bravo, Bravo, Charlie. So that's kind of showing us our cut pattern now. And to find out that last cut, we click on Find Bitting. Okay, so it has a bunch of different options here. It actually lists every single option, so obviously you can tell it doesn't matter for this vehicle, but if we had to trial these different options, we could actually use one key only. So how we would do this is we'd cut this first pattern with an A in front, try to turn the key. If it didn't work, then we'd cut the next one, a B, with the same test key. Try it again, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you move on to C and D and so forth until it finally turns. Sometimes you get lucky at the beginning, sometimes you got to wait till the end for one further down the road. So click that, and then you cut your key and move forward. When I mentioned that you can use the same key to cut it over and over again, it's just going to take a little bit more material off of it every time. So the cut depth that's labeled an A is the least amount of material removed. Then B removes a little bit more material, C removes a little bit more material, and D removes as much material as it can within their cut range. So basically you're just trying to figure out that last cut to make the key turn.